Going solar in New York and New Jersey is about more than just preserving the environment. It's about financial reward as well. A typical 10 kilowatt system with good orientation can harvest over $80,000 worth of electricity over its 25-year lifetime. And in New Jersey, where SRECs can be sold on the New Jersey SREC market, the value of harvested energy can jump to more than $90,000. State and federal renewable energy incentive programs, coupled with new loan programs and industry innovations, have made going solar easier than ever. So let's explore financial arrangements to go solar. There are three main types. A. Solar as a service. These types of arrangements include, but are not limited to, lease agreements and power purchase agreements where home or business owners can cash in on some of the benefits of solar without any major upfront financial commitment. B. Purchase the system with a loan. And C. Purchase the system outright. Let's take a look at each of these options one at a time and in greater depth. Option A. Solar as a service. There are various types of solar as a service arrangements, but they typically have the following features. The home or business owner agrees to buy electricity from a service provider at a reduced rate. Here, the service provider refers to a third-party company that arranges for EcoMen to design and build the solar system on their behalf. In this scenario, the service owner owns the system, not the home or business owner. EcoMen guides the home or business owner throughout the process and delivers the system with signature EcoMen service and quality. This option ends up producing less long-term benefit than other options, but the home or business owner sees a much faster return on investment in approximately the second year. Let's review the typical cash flow pattern for a solar as a service arrangement using a 10 kilowatt reference system. In the early years, there is a small negative cash flow related to initial down payments to the service provider. Then, around year 2, the initial investment is paid off, and the home or business owner begins to see positive cash flow. And over the lifetime of the system, there's about a $30,000 return. Next, option B, purchase with loan. Here, the home or business owner buys the system with the aid of a loan arrangement. In this case, the home or business owner has full ownership rights to the system, and the system typically pays back in about 10 years, based on federal and state incentive programs. This option allows for full system ownership with a minimized initial cash investment, an excellent long-term investment return. Let's review the typical cash flow pattern for the purchase with a loan option with zero money down using our 10 kilowatt reference system as an example. In the early years, we see a positive cash flow. This is because of federal and state incentive programs that generate a year 1 rebate or tax credit. Then, typically there is a period of 5 to 6 years of a slightly negative cash flow as the loan is paid down. The length of this negative cash flow period is heavily influenced by the loan amount. Since our example is for a zero money down arrangement, this negative period is a bit longer than if there was some initial down payment. And over the lifetime of the system, there's an attractive return of about $55,000. And finally, on to option C, outright purchase. In this scenario, the home or business owner buys the system outright without financing. In this case, the home or business owner has full ownership rights to the system. The system pays back in typically 5 to 7 years based on federal and state incentive programs. This is the recommended arrangement for maximized solar investment return. Let's review the typical cash flow pattern for the purchase outright option, using a 10 kilowatt reference system as an example. In the early years, we see a negative cash flow, representing the system cost after any federal or state tax credits or rebates. Energy value generated by the system pays back the initial investment in 5 to 7 years. And over the lifetime of the system, there's a substantial return on investment, approximately $65,000. Okay, we've explored each of the options. So how do the options compare? This chart shows the cash flows for each of the options at the same time so we can compare them against each other more easily. Option A, solar as a service, is in orange. Option B, purchase with a loan, is in blue. And option C, purchase outright, is in green. Here we see that the purchase outright option takes the prize for the largest return. And we see that it also has the largest initial investment and a 5 to 7 year payback. Then we see the purchase with loan option providing the second best return. and it does this with a smaller initial investment and with a longer payback. And finally, we see the solar as a service option providing the smallest return. But it does so with the smallest initial investment and with the fastest payback of all three options. Okay, now that we've explored the various financial arrangements for going solar, you might be asking, what is the right option for me? Well, here are some guiding principles for choosing. Guideline 1. If you plan to be at your location for only 3 to 5 years, and/or you are not positioned for a large upfront investment, then solar as a service is probably the right option for you. Guideline 2. If you plan to be at your location for more than 10 years, and you want to minimize the upfront investment of going solar, then purchase with a loan is probably the right option for you. And finally, Guideline 3. If you plan to be at your location for more than 7 years, and you are positioned for a larger upfront investment, then purchasing outright is probably the way to go for you. Well, thanks for watching. We hope you now have a better idea of how going solar can work with your finances. But before we part, there is one common thread to each of these options that we've discussed. That's the EcoMen advantage. EcoMen Solar uses the same high-quality parts and attention to detail for all financial arrangements, installed by experienced tradesmen, and all delivered with exceptional customer service. That's the EcoMen advantage. For more information, visit our website or give us a call. We're looking forward to working with you.